Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so your friends see it. Thank you.
Rosa Parks rolls over in grave after hearing who NFL player who ran from cops compared self to. Seattle Seahawks defensive end just made Rosa Parks roll over in her grave, get up, and slap some sense into him. Let's put this into proper perspective. Bennett ran from a bad situation in Las Vegas, and while innocent, when the cops went to try to control the situation he didn't cooperate and ended up in a big scene. He claimed police profiling, the video proved the cops right, showed him getting what anyone who acted that way would deserve. And this guy wants to replace Colin Kaepernick as the leader of the movement? If the movement is legit, and no one's saying cops are all perfect, then you need to pick a better spokesman. Michael Bennett, in an interview with ESPN, actually compared Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones's move to bench players who won't respect the flag to the Dred Scott Supreme Court decision. It reminded me of the Dred Scott case, your property, so you don't have the ability to be a person first. I think that in this generation, I think that sends the wrong message to young kids and young people all across the world that your employer doesn't see you as a human being, they see you as a piece of property, and if that's the case, then I don't get it. I just don't get why you don't see us as human beings first. There is so much wrong with this. I won't even mention the inaccuracies between the Dred Scott case. But I will say, since when do bosses see you as a human being? What liberal fantasy is this? Dear God, is this the argument now? That my boss treats me like an employee who is there to make him money and for no other reason, and that is unfair? If this is how the next generation, no matter the race, religion, or whatever, but if this is how the next generation thinks, we are doomed. All of us. The American experiment is over. Pack it and move to China, because we have no chance to outcompete them or the rest of the world if we have gotten this soft as a society. Earth to the NFL, most people work too hard for too little play and don't enjoy it. That's why they call it work. Share if you agree that we have gotten too soft as a society and we need to shape up. John Kelly just broke his silence and announced the one thing Obama didn't want getting out. A huge controversy has been erupting with John Kelly at the center of it. On a Fox News radio interview this week, President Trump brought up that Obama didn't call Kelly after his son, despite being one of the top military people. Here's what John Kelly said. He asked me about previous presidents and I said I could tell you that President Obama, who was my commander-in-chief when I was on active duty, did not call my family, he said during a surprise press briefing today, via Talking Points memo. That was not a criticism. That was just to simply say I don't believe President Obama called. That's not a negative thing. This means that Trump was right all along and that Obama didn't call John Kelly's son. You won't see the media apologizing for their treatment of our president. Share this everywhere to set the record straight for Trump and help him fight the media lies. God bless our great president, and give a thank you in the comments to General John Kelly. What Frederica Wilson just said about General Kelly proves she's a garbage human. Representative Frederica Wilson is trash, and now we have proof. Earlier this week, Wilson attempted to smear the president by attacking his efforts to reach out to families of fallen soldiers. The matter got even more heated when General John Kelly's son, who died in combat, got dragged into the mix. On Thursday morning, Kelly responded to the controversy with his own presser, where he claimed to be stunned by the focus on his dead son. But the emotional press conference didn't stop Wilson from attacking the White House chief of staff. John Kelly's just trying to keep his job, Wilson said to Politico's Mark Caputo after a hearing on nursing home deaths. He will say anything, Wilson added. No. It's Wilson who will say anything to smear the president. If that means demeaning John Kelly and his dead son, she doesn't care. She's terrible enough that she doesn't mind. Comment trash and share if you think Wilson is a garbage person. Attacking the president is bad enough, but attacking a fallen soldier's father is revolting. Urgent White House on lockdown as intruder climbs fence wearing something monstrous. The Pokemon Moto Gotta Catch 'em You All just got very real for Secret Service members today. On Thursday morning, a man dressed in a Pikachu costume leapt over a concrete barrier at the White House and ran toward the residence. That man was Curtis Combs, a 36-year-old resident of Somerset, Kentucky. His motivation for storming the White House is unclear, as was his decision to dress in a Pokemon costume. According to CNN, Donald Trump is in the nearby Eisenhower Executive Office building during the peculiar invasion. A Pokemon is a catchable creature from a Japanese video game of the same name. They can be used to battle each other or can be kept as friends of their owners. According to Pokemon lore, it is very difficult to kill one of the little monsters. Instead, they merely faint or get knocked out. Maybe, considering the snipers perched on the White House roof, this man was hoping for a similar invulnerability. Despite the extreme weirdness of the event, the situation is still very serious. This man may not have had Pikachu's electric powers, but he still posed a threat to the President of the United States. Share this article if you are happy the President was saved from this Pokemon intruder, but think that our President should be better taken care of. Pokemon, and people dressed as Pokemon, can be dangerous. Right after insulting Trump, everyone noticed nasty new thing about George W. Bush's face. George W. Bush gave a speech at the George W. Bush Institute today in New York. George Bush tried to take down President Donald Trump in the speech, but did not. Here are the worst quotes from the whole thing. Our politics seems more vulnerable to conspiracy theories and outright fabrication. Too often we judge other groups by their worst examples while judging ourselves by our best intentions, forgetting the image of God we should see in each other. We've seen nationalism distorted into nativism, forgotten the dynamism immigration has always brought to America. According to intelligence services, the Russian government has made a project of turning Americans against each other. Foreign aggressions including cyber attacks, disinformation and financial influence should never be downplayed or tolerated. People of every race, religion and ethnicity can be fully and equally American. Bigotry or white supremacy in any form is blasphemy against the American creed. Bullying and prejudice in our public life sets a national tone. The speech was an obvious attack on our president. The one thing that Bush didn't mention was the fact he let in millions of illegal immigrants. In fact, from 2000 to 2005, he let in more illegal immigrants than in any other point in history. Share this if you are glad that we ended the Bush political dynasty and the Clintons. Now we have Trump and are making this country great again. After attacking John Kelly earlier, this video of Frederica Wilson leaked that'll ruin her. Florida Democratic Congresswoman Frederica Wilson is loving the attention following her attack on President Donald Trump after his condolence call to Sergeant Law David Johnson, who was killed in Niger. Today, Frederica bragged to reporters that she is now a rock star after criticizing Chief of Staff General John Kelly. "You mean to tell me that I have become so important," loud laughter, "that the White House is following me and my words? This is amazing. That's amazing. That is absolutely phenomenal. I'll have to tell my kids that I'm a rock star now." Here is what Wilson said about Chief of Staff John Kelly's words about her this morning. "Let me tell you what my mother told me when I was little," Wilson said. "She said, the dog can bark at the moon all night long, But it doesn't become an issue until the moon barks back. John Kelly's trying to keep his job, Wilson told Politico. He will say anything. There were other people who heard what I heard. Spread this everywhere to show everyone in America how disgusting Miss Frederica Wilson. These Democrats are sick and hate our troops.